Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Hogan.
Drip, snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go. Congratulations to all of you on getting those gifted memberships. This helps the channel a lot, so thank you very much to Hindenburger for helping. Now, I actually got a request, all right, to talk about something this morning. And I was on the fence about talking about it, but since this is happening right now, I feel like I should, okay?
So I want you to keep in mind how he's starting this by saying that he got a request to talk about this.
So, you may have noticed, right, in the last month, a significant dip in memberships on this channel. And this has happened for two very, very interesting reasons.
I mean, there's quite a few more reasons than just two, but if I could only give you two reasons, my best guess would be that most people don't like you enough to actually bother coming by to give you money. Even those people that do actually like you genuinely don't like you enough to give you money. And my second reason would be because some of your whales are currently on hiatus. Whether that's because they just don't want to come by and give you any more money or because they're saving up their money so they can drop it all at once is still up in the air. But regardless, I think that's the main two reasons right there. Like I said, there's other reasons, but if I had to pick two, those are the two.
Number one, because typically we get some generous people who come to the channel and give memberships. And it's always someone different. It's not always the same person every month. Even though there are some recurring people who come back from month to month and will give memberships. It's not always the same people. I would argue there's like 10, 20 people who regularly will come by every once in a while and give some memberships to the channel.
Yeah, DSP, we call those whales. Like, there's a term for that. And you can say that it's 10 or 20 people, but we all know that it's 3 or 4 people who are constantly using a rotation of sock accounts. I don't actually know why they insist on using a rotation of sock accounts either. It just seems kind of goofy to me. You'd think if you're gonna give this bozo a bunch of money, you'd at least want him to know that it's the same person giving him money all the time. So at least he could consistently give them big ups, you know? But who knows with this guy and his dents? Maybe they're just trying to protect their family, dude. I don't know.
Last year, we had someone come by, if you remember, and they gifted hundreds of memberships to the channel. And we actually had a record high. I want to say we were at like 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 members at one point last year, which is actually why we have so many emotes unlocked on the channel, despite the fact that I don't have many members. It's because of that crazy spike that we had last year. We never lost the emote spots, okay?
And while that was a very kind thing for that person to do, large amounts of gifted memberships should not be particularly normal on your streams. Because it's definitely strange when you have something like 800 members and you get 150, 200 people on a stream. It just looks suspect and a red flag that pops up when people check out a channel. And that's not me saying that gifted memberships are bad or anything, but it's definitely suspect when you have significantly more memberships than you do actual viewers on your stream.
Now, how do gifted memberships work? It's based on how often you actually watch this channel, and it's based on engagement. So if you watch a lot, if you talk a lot, you're going to have a much higher increased chance to get a gifted membership than, say, a newcomer. Do you see? But the more you hang out and the more you watch and the more you engage with chatting and liking the videos and liking the content and stuff like that, YouTube has an algorithm that increases your chances of getting a gifted membership. So what you might notice is when we get these gifted memberships, a lot of the times they go to regulars.
Well, DSP, you regularly only have a couple hundred people watching your streams every day. So who the hell is left to actually be getting these gifted memberships? And while that's a genuine question, I would imagine that would also have to be a genuine concern for DSP. Because if just about anybody is getting a membership at this point, that means that people who aren't actually fans of DSP are now getting a say in his content through things like members voting and video suggestions for things like the react. I mean, he's got to be well aware of that. He is conspiracy side Phil at the end of the day.
You're like, oh, why does the regular always get it? That's exactly why. Okay? Now, you don't even have to be in the chat to get it. You could be a regular and not be here, and you're still apt to get that gifted membership over somebody else. So, it definitely benefits you to be a regular, engaging and supporting person here in the chat. You know what I mean?
And I didn't actually know that, if that's true. Not only did I know that you got a higher priority from engaging in chat more often and being a regular, but I also wasn't aware that you could be gifted memberships while you were offline. I guess you learn something new every day. You remember the other day when DSP called his content educational? This is the one instance in which that has ever been true. But if he's wrong, let me know, because when I tried to look it up, the only things that were popping up was how to gift memberships and how to receive memberships, and not actually the stipulations that are required to be gifted a membership.
But I will say this. What ends up happening is when you get people who are regular gifters, sadly, there's people who like the content, who watch it all the time, but they tend to say, oh, you know what? Well, I'm just going to wait because I feel like someone's just going to come and give memberships. And when they do, I'm just going to get one because I'm a regular, right? So what ends up happening is these people sit around waiting. And if we get an extended period of time where people don't come by and give memberships, the memberships dwindle to tons.
Well, DSP, that's the community that you've cultivated. When you have people coming through and wailing out and dropping that kind of money to give out memberships like that, don't be upset when people wind up catching on to the fact that they can just sit around and wait and eventually they'll just be given a membership for free. What you should be focusing on is giving them reasons why they should re-up their own membership every single month. And you would do that by offering better rewards and perks for doing so. That way they don't sit around and wait for a gifted membership because they don't want to miss the opportunity to see the content that you're providing to your members. That's why there was a suggestion in the suggestion box that told you that you should do a members only stream or some sort of members only video or something once a week. But instead of actually looking into that and figuring out how you can work that into the way that you have to do things, you just decided to shit on it and talk about how many views Moist Critical gets, like that means anything.
All right? And that's exactly what's happened in this last month is my attendance and viewership and everything on my streams was great. Overall, if you take a look, everything's fine, you know? It's not like, oh my god, in the month of October, Phil had a giant fall off. That didn't happen. What ended up happening was the regulars are just kind of sitting here watching and just hoping for gifted memberships. And that's, I hate to say it, not a very good mindset to have.
See, DSP, but that's the thing. Because the amount of memberships that you're supposed to have is supposed to be a fraction of the average viewers that you get. Because just like how most viewers on a video don't comment or leave a like, most stream viewers are not going to wind up becoming members. They're just going to wind up enjoying your content for free and then moving on with their day. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're allowed to do that. That comes with the territory of putting out content on a free platform like YouTube. They don't owe you anything just because they enjoy your content, because nobody owes you anything. Any support that anybody provides to you at all is a gift and a blessing, and you should be appreciative. But I know who I'm talking to, so that'll never happen anyway. Why do I waste my breath?
Because you have to understand something here. This is my hobby. It's what I absolutely love to do for a living. It's my you know, my lifelong passion is video games and hanging out and enjoying them and sharing my opinions on them. You know, this has been an awesome 15-year ride on YouTube, okay?
And it's always so jarring for me to hear parts like this when he talks, because he almost sounds thankful. He almost sounds like he appreciates the blessings that have come his way throughout his life, right? But this is the same guy who begs every single day and constantly tells people they're not supporting him enough, that there's nothing that he could do and he doesn't take any blame for anything. The same guy who makes sitting around on his ass and playing video games sound like hard labor. It's like he almost understands the absolute lottery that he won by being able to make this a living. And just as he's on the cusp of being able to fully understand and be thankful for that, he throws all of it away and goes right into begging, just like this.
But it's also my business, and I put out free content every single day for people. And you would think that if you're someone who's here all the time and you're watching the content all the time and you're enjoying it literally for free, because it's free, there's no paywall here. None of this content requires you to pay for access, you see? Well, you would think that if you like that content and you want to see it continue, that you would consider becoming a channel member here on the channel, even though if it costs you a few bucks a month. It's not expensive.
But I would venture to say that the reason that most of these people are here every day, if that's in fact the case, is because it is free. It costs them nothing. The second that there's a cost associated with watching YouTube videos, a lot of people would just wind up not watching YouTube videos or going out of their way to figure out how to watch YouTube videos for free. I get what DSP is saying. If you're using a service every single day, maybe you do feel incentivized to make sure that that service can continue going every single day because you do enjoy it. But there's so many more things in life than just watching YouTube videos videos, and there's so many more things in life that cost money that are way more important than watching YouTube videos. So of course, some people are not going to be able to justify reaching into their wallets and giving you a couple of dollars every month. And again, that's totally fine because it comes with the territory of putting your videos online for free on a platform like YouTube. You sitting here and guilt tripping these people for doing something that they're definitely allowed to do and should honestly be doing anyway is quite disgusting in all reality, especially when there's a million ways that you can make profit off of your content. But you specifically go out of your way to not make that money. You don't take sponsorships. You don't work with anybody at all because you would rather do shit like this. You would rather get on stream and beg every single day and hound the people who actually like you for more and more money until their pockets are absolutely dry. And then wonder why nobody's coming around anymore. And then wonder why your viewership is constantly dropping.
A membership is less than $4 a month. Did you know that? That's cheaper than Twitch. It's cheaper than the competitors. It's three something a month, like $3.99 or something like that. And the memberships are consistent support that help this channel.
It doesn't matter how cheap it is though. In the same way that watching ads is technically free. The only thing that it costs is your time. But there are plenty of people who are not willing to watch any ad whatsoever. So much so that YouTube had to crack down on ad blockers. They're doing a mixed job on that. But obviously it's enough people that it was becoming a problem for them. The real question is, why would these people continue to watch you and even support you if they could go watch somebody else make better content and not hound them the entire time or act like they're the scum of the earth for watching their content for free? Honestly, I can't think of a reason. I don't think I'll ever be able to understand the thoughts that go through a dent head.
All right? And I feel what's happened is a lot of people just have become dependent. Oh, I'm just going to get a free one. That's an awful mentality to have. Because if we're all just sitting around for the same 10, 15 people to give memberships, you might just sit around for months. What if these people aren't available? What if they just don't want to contribute right now? And that's what's happened.
Then they'll just keep sitting around, DSP. They clearly don't care that much if they're not willing to re-up their own membership. And the only thing that you can do about that is try and incentivize them through better perks and better rewards of becoming a member. Or I guess you could pick option 2 and try and guilt trip your viewers into giving you more money for a product that they clearly don't think is worth their money.
Is we went from a point where every month we had 5, 6, 7, 800 members, and now we're down to 400, barely maintaining 400, and everyone's just sitting around, oh, well, I know someone's going to come gift. No, you don't. No, you actually don't. And if you're here every day and you're enjoying the content, please support it. This is probably the cheapest way to support the content, and you get a bunch of stuff out of it. You get access to emotes. You get a chat crown badge to show how long you're supporting. You get to talk as much as you want in chat with absolutely no limitations whatsoever on how much you talk when there's a live stream. There's no slow mode or anything for you, right? You get priority for special events. Now, it sucks that the Halloween event didn't happen, but the adpocalypse is coming up. You get priority to get your ads watched during the adpocalypse. You're going to get priority during the Christmas event coming up. It makes sense. It's a few bucks, you know?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, DSP. And I mean that. I'm not just being serious like when you say that you're gonna be honest. I don't think that custom emotes and a chat crown badge mean anything. I mean, the only custom emote that I can even think that's worth anything is Almighty Tevin's Almighty Wiggle. And that's only because he plays absolute bangers. So sometimes you gotta do a little dance in Tevin in the chat. But other than that, I can't think of any. And then he goes on to say that, oh, you get priority during special events, and then go on to tell you that he basically scammed his members when he skipped the Halloween event. Yeah, because that's going to make people want to become members. Hey guys, here's a direct benefit that you get from becoming a member. Oh, also, I could just not do it and there's nothing that you can do about it. Thanks for the money, dummy. But they don't get exclusive content. They don't get entered into any sort of giveaways or competitions at all. You can't even be bothered to name characters in video games after your members. That actually costs you nothing and would be a great way to show some love in the video games that you're playing anyway.
So if anything, of all the things you think that you go out of your way to support the channel, probably the best value for the buck is the membership. So then why would you sit around and say, I'm just going to wait for someone to gift memberships? It doesn't make sense. Because what happens is that hurts me. Like, look what happened in October. A lot of people were just sitting around waiting for the gifting that never happened. And a lot of people were expecting that it was going to happen during the Halloween event. There was no Halloween event because I was sick. So now it sets us back so far because people were just sitting around waiting.
Notice he says that it sets us back so far, when DSP is the only person who had a negative repercussion from this. In fact, it was probably a positive for all of the people who didn't bother getting memberships during the month of October because they would have gotten scammed by him not doing the Halloween event at all. And now that we're multiple minutes into this segment, I want to remind you what he said at the beginning is that somebody asked him to address this and he thought that now would be a perfect time. Who asked for this? I mean, seriously, who asked for him to address this at all? Unless this was some weird dent-headed 4D chess style gameplay, I don't know who could have wanted this. My only thought is that some dent wanted less people able to be gifted memberships so that they could be gifted a membership instead. That's the only thing that could even make sense to me. That or this was straight up a LARPer making sure that DSP gave us this absolutely regarded segment.
That's not the attitude to have. Again, especially because I know people are watching the content. It's not that, oh, well, it's just, you know, people are taking a break from the content. No, you guys are here. You guys are here enjoying and watching. But too many people are just sitting back now and saying, I'm just going to wait, give me the gift, give me the gift, give me the gift. It's not a very good attitude to have. All right, especially during this holiday season. Now's the time for giving.
And of course, it's after Halloween. So he's going to be constantly bringing up the seasonal holidays and how you're supposed to be giving him more stuff. You're supposed to be giving him more free money. Just absolutely disrespectful to everything that these upcoming holidays actually stand for. It's just despicable, honestly.
Right? To give, not to receive. Now's the time that people should say, hey, I like Phil's content. You know, it's great. I want to support the community a lot. I want to be the gifter. Not the receiver, but the giver. That's this time of year, you know? Good time to think about it that way, okay?
Jesus, the word fumbling just gets worse and worse by the day, doesn't it?
So, please consider it. And I'm going to be honest, I see people who come into the chat and literally say stuff, the first words out of their mouth is, hey, anyone gifting memberships today? Literally not a single person who ever attends one of my streams should say that in the chat. If you attend a stream and you're lucky and someone's being generous and someone's being nice to the community and they hand out memberships and you get one, you should be grateful. Wow, thank you so very much. You gave me a gift. That is so nice of you and I'm appreciative of it. No one should be coming into the chat asking for a gift. What? Huh?
Huh? But this is one of the times where I'm gonna actually have to agree with DSP. I think it is really scummy that someone would come into the chat and then directly ask if someone was gonna gift them a membership today. I would imagine that these are LARPers who were banned on their sock accounts already, so they're looking to get their new sock account a membership, obviously. But I don't personally agree with LARPers in general, so. But if that's genuinely a DSP fan that's doing that, that's the scummiest den on the planet, hands down. Get him out of here.
Is that really how it works? You walk in asking for gifts. No. If you're lucky enough to receive a gift, then you're grateful. You're not expectant of it or expecting it. That's ridiculous, right? So please don't act like that. I've seen people like that. It's like, wow, you want to talk about completely the opposite of the Christmas spirit? That's exactly what the opposite of the Christmas spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Why is he talking about the Christmas spirit? Dude, it's November 7th. You're skipping over an entire holiday. A holiday that would even work in this scenario. Because you're talking about being thankful and you're skipping over Thanksgiving.
So, please don't do that. Alright? And again, you know, if you're someone who watches the content all the time, now would be the time to say, hey, maybe I want to support it. I see that the gifted memberships aren't happening for whatever reason. Maybe the people who usually do them, they're not around on the regular, all right? Or they just can't do it right now, and that's fine.
It's very suspicious to me that DSP specifically threw in there that they weren't around or that they couldn't do it. I'm curious as to whether or not he knows that one of the whales has something going on behind the scenes that's making them unable to come by and drop large amounts of support. I'm not going to mention any specifics, but if you guys have any idea, let me know your Theo theories.
Because no one, you notice, if you haven't noticed, I'm not sitting here and calling out names and saying, you know, so-and-so who always gives memberships, I don't know where you are, come back and give memberships, what's wrong with you? Am I doing that? No.
But you are inadvertently, though. Constantly bringing up how many memberships you have and wishing that people would gift more and constantly telling people to gift more and support the channel, you are inadvertently telling people that you wish that these whales would come back. Especially when you talk about how many members you had and how many of them expired because the gift memberships ran out.
Because that's not how you behave. That's so ungrateful. That's so, you deserve the world. You don't deserve shit. And on this planet, right? you'll work your butt off, and sometimes you get rewarded for it, and sometimes you don't. Life's not fair, right?
First off, I specifically said that nobody owes you anything already in this video, DSP. Don't steal my shit live. Second off, you're not even allowed to say that because you're the one who is actively doing a beg segment right this second. If that's not ironic, I don't know what is at this point. You're telling people that nobody owes anybody anything, and then you're actively doing a whole beg segment. I'm truly at a loss for words right now. And that doesn't happen often, but this is kind of unreal.
In general, I've been very lucky. In a 15-year run I've had on YouTube, most of the time people support me enough that I can make a good living and I can continue to do what I love. My passion is my job. Do you know how rare that is? So how ungrateful would it be to sit here and start calling out names and demanding that these people who've gifted memberships come back and gift them? So if I'm not going to do that, why would you?
Yes, DSP, you're not yelling out specific names for people to come back and start gifting subs. Instead, you're just yelling out in general that people better start paying up. You act as if that's any better, when either way, you're just a filthy beggar.
Why would you come to the chat and start, oh, where's the gifters? Where's the gifters? How about where's the door and here's my foot on your ass as you leave it for the last time? Because that's the most ridiculous attitude to have, especially during this holiday season, all right?
And that's the third mention of the holiday season in this one segment. Also, you gotta love the guy talking about how his numbers are way down and he's not getting the memberships, and then also telling people to not come back because they're being ungrateful so that his numbers will continue to go down.
It's just it's unacceptable. Okay. So, please consider contributing and supporting the content if you like it, but please don't come in here with the expectation of anything, right? I don't. It's great when I get support, but I don't expect it, nor can I demand it.
And now he's just outright lying because how many times has he gotten on stream to do the daily pre-stream and he tells everybody that they didn't hit the tier 1 tips goals and he's super worried and it's unreasonable that he didn't hit them. I mean, come on, dude. We go over this all the time. You expect the $50 tier 1 tips goal every single stream. And if you don't hit it for just a couple of streams, you make sure to bring it up and tell everybody exactly what your expectation is. If you had no expectations whatsoever, there wouldn't be a goal at all.
Right? That's the nature of the beast when it comes to content creation. So if I can't demand it, you can't either, right? But that's what's going on. Is, you know, if you haven't noticed in the last month, a lot of the gifters, the people who come by and regularly gift the memberships have not been around or can't gift right now.
And there, he said it again. I don't know if he's just speaking broadly because obviously if they're not around, they can't gift right now, or if he knows something specific. It just sounds specific to me.
And that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We got to hope in the expectation that things will turn around and will get better as we get closer, especially to the holidays and all these, you know, different games that we'll be playing and all of that. But I do see this bad attitude that's kind of being passed around, and it's disturbing. It is. It's disturbing to see people acting like that. No one should be acting like that. And again, if you're a regular and someone who watches this content on a daily basis and you're not getting a gifted membership, if you're thinking about getting it yourself, it's a few bucks.
I love that he expects people who are sitting around and waiting for memberships to just get their own memberships. But it's an absurd thought to think that DSP, the guy who sits around and waits for cash to come through so he can pay his bills, should just go get a job.
You know, it's just a few dollars and you get good benefits out of it and it supports this channel and you don't have to sit here wondering when people will gift again, right?
I mean, it's just a few hours, you get good benefits, and then you don't have to sit around waiting and wondering if people are going to come by and give you more money.
So there you go. All right.
So there you go. All right. But that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I knew as soon as I heard DSP deriding his viewers for not becoming members and acting as ungrateful as he did, that I wanted to talk about it, obviously. So of course, big ups to Snort Hogan for the clip. I absolutely appreciate it. I can't recommend it enough, guys. If you're looking for clips that I'm not covering, please go check out Snort Hogan. Please. And of course, a big shout out to all of you guys for watching, especially you guys that have made it this far. I really appreciate it, and I hope that I can catch all of you guys in the next video. But until then, make sure that you check out other detractors and dive deeper into that Snortex.